we have a major update on Landry Shamet and his future with the Knicks. Shamet has been rehabbing his dislocated shoulder for the last few weeks, but according to reports, that rehab has been going very well. We have an update on where he is in terms of his recovery, and we also know now what the Knicks plan to do with him once he is fully recovered. We're going to break down all of these latest reports and so much more today. But before we get started, guys, about 55% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. We are on a mission to try to reach 20,000 subscribers, and we could really use your support. If you enjoy content like this and you like daily Knick updates, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Update on Landry Shamet's future with the Knicks. We have been waiting to hear about Shamet and when he can possibly return for New York. Before he got injured, Tom Thibodeau would speak about him glowingly as one of the main pieces off the bench, somebody that has chemistry with the bench unit, Deuce McBride, Cam Payne, all the players we had at that time. When he went down, the Knicks had to scramble and try to get somebody else in his place. And what they ended up doing was they signed Matt Ryan to a standard NBA contract. Obviously not guaranteed, but he's still on the roster. But as we've seen, Matt Ryan has fallen out of the rotation. He's been replaced by the rookie Pacome Dadier in certain situations. So you know his time on this team is not long-term. When the Knicks can replace him, they will. And the one player they're likely going to replace him with is Landry Shamet, somebody that they wanted on their team to start the season, but obviously, due to that shoulder dislocation, he could not be with the Knicks. But even though that was the case, New York was very smart with him because during their G League draft, they drafted him. One of the main reasons they did that was so they can oversee his rehab. So once he's fully healthy and ready to return, they're going to be the first people to know about it so they can make moves right away to get him on this team. And according to SNY NBA insider Ian Bagley, that's exactly what the Knicks are preparing to do. Let's break down these latest reports about Shamet and his future with New York. According to Bagley, additions coming. When Thibodeau is asked about the bench play in his news conferences, he routinely mentions how well Landry Shamet fit into that group. So let's make something clear. Before Shamet's even available right now, even really on the team, Tom Thibodeau is still talking about him when talking about the bench and players that they don't have. That's something to keep in mind. He's not really on the team right now, and Thibodeau is speaking about him like this. That means a lot. Let's continue here. The Knicks waived Shamet prior to the regular season, but selected him in the G League draft so they could rehab his shoulder injury within the team confines. I'd still expect the Knicks to sign Shamet if he can make it back all the way from rehab. He's been at the facility regularly. According to Cam Payne, see him almost every day. See him all the time. He's getting better. His shoulder is starting to feel a lot better. This is obviously huge news for the Knicks. We need more pieces off the bench. We need to be able to expand our rotation. And the only way the Knicks are going to be able to do that is if they can add more players on the bench that Tom Thibodeau trusts. Deuce McBride, he trusts him. Mitchell Robinson has that trust. Preston Achua has built that trust. Landry Shamet, given the way he's spoken about by all the players on the Knicks and by head coach Tom Thibodeau, he clearly has that trust as well. Once Shamet can return, the Knicks are going to waive Matt Ryan, have that roster spot open, and then give Landry Shamet a standard NBA contract, get him back on this team, and then he will play significant minutes with the bench unit, with Cam Payne, with Deuce McBride, with Preston Achua. I think the Knicks at that point will have a legitimate 9-man rotation. Maybe they'll expand to 10 players, but I think 9 players is exactly what Tom Thibodeau is looking for. He'll have 4 players off the bench. He'll run 1 starter with the bench unit. And in my opinion, that starter will be Mikal Bridges because Mikal right now needs to be unlocked, needs to have a better impact, a greater impact. I thought going into this season, he was going to play the RJ Barrett role. What do I mean by that? Last season, RJ Barrett would be the first substitution early on, and then he would play significant minutes with the bench unit in that second quarter. And that would allow him to be on ball more, have the ball in his hands more, make more decisions with the basketball, get more shot attempts. That's exactly the role I thought Mikal Bridges was going to have as well, too. We knew with the starting unit, he was not going to have that many shot attempts. But with the bench unit, if he was running with that unit, I expected to see him more on ball. I expected to see him run the offense, play make, do all the things we saw him do with Brooklyn last year, but do it with the second unit. What I'm trying to say is the Knicks need more reinforcements, and Landry Shamet fits that role perfectly. Once he comes back, he'll be added to the bench, he'll play significant minutes, and Tom Thibodeau already trusts him. He already has chemistry with the bench unit. When he comes back, he'll be giving us defense, he'll be giving us playmaking, he'll be giving us drives to the basket, and he'll also help get others involved. And that's something you can count on from Landry Shamet. The shooting that he's going to give us off the bench, along with that defense, that's what Tom Thibodeau has been waiting for. And Shamet sounds like he's close. It sounds like the rehab is going well. His shoulder feels okay. And that is exactly the update you want to hear about Shamet. But what about his future? What are the Knicks going to do once he's fully recovered and he's able to return to this team? Well, shout out to NBA insider Mark Stein for giving us the following update about the Knicks and what they plan to do with Landry Shamet. He reported this update a few weeks ago. According to him, the New York Knicks plan on re-signing Landry Shamet once he recovers from his separated shoulder. Shamet was on track to make the Knicks regular season roster until his injury. The Knicks selected Landry Shamet in the G League draft to ensure they could oversee Shamet's injury rehab. Shamet, who was with the Washington Wizards last season, averaged 10.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 1.5 assists in 22.1 minutes over the 4 preseason games he played with New York. Shout out to Mark Stein for giving us this great update about the Knicks and what they plan to do with Shamet. Honestly, not surprised at all. Once Shamet is able to return, like we've heard from so many different NBA insiders, Ian Bagley, Steph Bondy, and now the great Mark Stein. Once he can return, the Knicks are going to add him back to a standard NBA deal. They're going to get him back on this team, and he's going to play significant minutes off the bench for New York. We should all be happy about this because even though it means less minutes for the rookies, it does mean that Tom Thibodeau will expand his rotation. He'll be forced to because he's going to have players on the bench that he trusts. He'll have players that he needs to give minutes to, and he knows when other players get into foul trouble or we need to experiment with different lineups or we just need better defense out there, he'll have more players that he can choose from. He'll have Landry Shamet. He'll have Deuce McBride, Precious Achiuwa, Mitchell Robinson as soon as January. We're going to get healthy again. We're getting more players back. We are going to be that championship contender that we sometimes look like from game to game. The only thing with this Knicks team is consistency. Besides that 4-game win streak we just had, which was our first win streak of the season, we just cannot put games together in terms of wins. We win some, we lose some. We win some, we lose some. We need to be consistent, not only on the floor in terms of defense, not only for 48 minutes, not only being locked in, but with our wins. That no matter who we're playing against, they're going to get the best version of the Knicks. We're going to dominate them, destroy them, and move on to the next game because that's how New York does it. We're not worried about the last game. We're worried about the next game in front of us. Tonight, that's the Denver Nuggets. Yes, we did not do what we needed to do against the Utah Jazz. We all remember that. We should lock it in our minds and use it as motivation tonight against the Denver Nuggets. We need this win. We need to come off of this road trip with more wins than losses. If we can do that, regardless of if we have a 4-game win streak, 5-game win streak, 2-game win streak, if we come out of this road trip with more wins than losses, that's a win in itself. Going into December, with the favorable schedule that we have, we could potentially run through the entire December schedule without losing once. That's how good we are and how bad the teams we're going up against in December are. We just have to make sure we don't play down to the competition. We destroy them. If we have that mentality, we are going to go on another run. A run that you or I haven't seen in years. And that's what gets me hype. That's what gets me excited. Hearing Shamet coming back, Achiuwa coming back, Deuce coming back, Robinson coming back, us being fully healthy again. And a lot of the players coming back, they're defensive minded. And the one problem with this Knicks team, more than anything else, is our defense. Because the players we needed, the help that we needed, the defense that we needed, it's all coming very soon. It's all up to Tom Thibodeau, though, and how he's going to utilize that with Karl Anthony Towns. That's the main question. But in terms of reinforcements, in terms of help, in terms of defense, it's coming, and it's coming very soon. But what about you guys? What do you think about the following updates about Landry Shamet and the possibility that he's going to be returning very soon? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.